This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another sports catastrophe on this day. And on this day, June 22nd, 1986, one of the most infamous matches in World Cup history happened. Never mind, one of the most infamous of World Cup 1986. It's the day that Diego Maradona became known as a villain, especially in English fans' eyes. It is the day of La Mano de Dios, or in English, the Hand of God. Yes, that goal. Between Argentina and England in the quarterfinals of the 1986 World Cup. It was a decent tournament and all that. The 1986 World Cup was just humongous and all that. In the group stages, Argentina was put in a pool with Italy, Bulgaria, and South Korea. Argentina and Italy had a battle in 1982 that saw Claudio Gentile try to throw off Maradona by using his junk. True story. Argentina won twice and tied once. They beat South Korea, they tied Italy, and they beat Bulgaria. So no harm, no foul for Argentina. England, on the other hand, were in Group F, and somehow they crapped the bed. They lost to Portugal 1-0. And this is a 1980s Portugal. This is not 2000s Portugal, where it would be more admirable to lose to them. Not in my mind, of course. They had a dreadful 0-0 tie with Morocco. But then Lineker woke up and put up a hat trick against Poland that got England second in the group as Morocco won with 1 win and 2 ties. In fact, every game, well, until Morocco-Portugal, was actually a score. There was a shutout. But regardless, Morocco went on because they took down Portugal. Because of the convolutedness, Argentina would face Uruguay, their South American rivals, in the round of 16, and on a goal by Pasculi in the 42nd minute, they beat them. England crushed Paraguay with a hat with 3 goals by, 2 by Lineker and 1 by Peter Beardsley. So that meant that these two teams would bump into each other. And all that. So anyway, it was the second half. No score in this game. And Maradona took the ball out of the box and passed it to Jorge Valdano, his teammate. He tried to take on the defenders, but the ball was kicked towards England's goal by Steve Hodge, meaning that he wanted Peter Shilton to make sure to catch the ball and then throw it out and start an England counterattack. So anyway, Maradona would have been caught offside, but because it went off an opponent, he was allowed to take the chances. So anyway, Maradona would battle with Peter Shilton, the England goalie, for the ball. Shilton was 8 inches taller than Maradona, so you know that Shilton was easily going to take the ball away from Maradona. And Shilton jumped forward with his right hand, while Maradona does so with his left arm outstretched. Maradona's fist, which was raised close to his head, touched the ball first and hit the ball into England's goal. Maradona began to celebrate by glancing at the referee and the linesman. The Tunisian referee gave the goal, and he actually sought the advice of his second linesman after England protested. Anyway, it was just what had happened and all of that. So anyway, it was a big goal for Argentina. And Maradona told his teammates to come celebrate with him because if that was not happening, then they probably might have called the goal back. So the goal was given inexplicably, and a lot of people thought that there was some kind of argy-bargy with helping Argentina defeat England, especially in a climate like North America. Regardless of that, it wasn't clear why. Anyway, Maradona scored that big goal. But let's not forget that that was not the end of the game whatsoever. Yeah, sure, it was 1-0 and all that. Yeah, they did the hand of God goal and make it 1-0. But that wasn't the end of it. 4 minutes later, Maradona was given the ball inside his own half, and then he went through a 60-yard, 10-second dash around 4 English players. He went around Peter Beardsley. He went over Peter Reid. He twice feigned out Terry Butcher. He went up and got past Terry Fenwick. And then he put a feint that put Peter Shilton out of position, and then he just slid the ball into the empty net, made it 2-0. Anyway, they called it the goal of the century in 2002. It beat up Michael Owen's goal against Argentina in the 98 World Cup. Of course, that goal was huge and all that. It was humongous and all that. Like, that goal was cool, and I will admit that. Maradona's effort against the English defenders was cool. But the first goal, oh my God, really. The bad news for Argentina is that wasn't the end of the game either, as Gary Lineker scored in the 81st minute. However, they had a chance 5 minutes later as John Barnes tried to give Gary Lineker a pass. And Lineker, if he had done it correctly with his head, would have snapped it in the net to tie it at 2. But unfortunately, he didn't. He just missed the ball, and the goal made, and that was it. Argentina won 2-1. It was just amazing and all of that. All that. Yeah, a lot of people said that second goal was good, obviously, and all of that. So anyway, the hand of God had happened. It wasn't until 2005, 19 years after the incident, that he publicly acknowledged he scored with his hand. It was on a program called La Noche del Ton, or whatever. And people made it. There was controversy and all that. So anyway, it is what it is. Now, Maradona said that it was symbolic revenge for the Falklands War because England had overreacted to Argentina trying to get them to the lands known as the Falkland Islands. Anyway, there were some hand of God's subsequent goals and all that. In 1990, when Argentina faced the Soviets, Maradona intercepted a chance by the Soviets with his hand of God without the referee noticing. In the Asian Cup final in 2004 between China and Japan, Koji Nagata somehow scored Japan's second goal by his hand, which would stand, and that would be the winning goal for Japan. Leo Messi scored a hand of God goal similar to Maradona, playing for Barcelona against Espanyol in 2007. A hand was used in 2020 in the Asian Cup when Ceres Negros FC faced Priya Khan Reach Soviet Union. Did all that. Regardless of that, there were a couple of key handballs in 2010. The first one was when France took on Ireland for a spot in the 2010 World Cup in a playoff, and William Gallas scored to make it 2-1, give the French a trip to the World Cup. However, it was controversy as Henry centered the ball with his hands moments prior to passing to Gallas, which would have made it illegal. And all that. The goal was given and all that, and a lot of people were upset with that. Ireland wanted a rematch with France, weren't given it, and they were all ticked off and all that. Rightfully so. But there was a silver lining as France shit the bed in the 2010 World Cup and did not make it out. They lost to South Africa. So, you knew that France was given a bit of a pass because they were the defending finalists. But that wasn't the end of it in 2010. Luis Suarez actually stopped a goal with his hand when Uruguay took on Ghana in the quarterfinals too. Ghana was trying to become the first African team to make it to the semis prior to the fact Morocco did so in 2022. But Suarez stopped the ball on the line. But the referee saw it, gave the red card, and Suarez was done for. Asamoah Gyan had a chance to score on the last kick of the game for Ghana to win the game, but he missed it, placing it off the crossbar. Uruguay survived and beat Ghana on penalties too. But justice was served as Uruguay ended up losing the semifinals and third place game. A lot of people say, well, that was the end of Argentina-England's rivalry. Yeah, the hand of God. However, there would be more World Cup argy-bargy between Argentina and England. Well, Argentina would go on to win the World Cup by taking care of Germany in the final match. And in 1990, they took runner-up. Despite losing, Lineker was named top scorer of the '86 World Cup. And England took fourth in 1990, their highest finish since '66. But the teams have met twice in World Cup matches. In 1998, Argentina and England bumped into each other in the first knockout game, this round of 16. It was a tight one. Sol Campbell actually had a goal disallowed in extra time because of an English foul, or apparent foul, in fact. And of course, that was the game which David Beckham made that petulant kick on Diego Simeone. Say what you want, but that was a terrible kick by him. It could have been a yellow card, but it was a red card. Of course, Argentina would win on penalties against England. And in 2002, they were bumped into each other in the same group stage. Unfortunately, though, England won a goal on David Beckham getting revenge with a penalty kick, and England took down Argentina. England got to the knockout stages. Argentina did not. So that was all she wrote, and that's all she writes for this infamous soccer moment. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.